Go ahead, Rob. Waiting on you.
Huh?
Waiting on you.
Oh, we're doing it live.
There you go. Come on, where's that Rob
We're doing it
energy?
live.
There we go. There we go.
In 3, 2, 1.
We have Alan with us next, who will also be playing the Toys for Tots benefit here at Legacy at the Riverfront. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for
coming
having
on.
me. I'm excited to play. I'm
Oh.
looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to it. I of course scoped you out
Right.
and listened to your videos and stuff that you
Okay,
had.
cool.
So you're really good.
Thank you very much. I wish the band was playing. I'm kind of bummed that the guys are out of town, but they have daughters in cheer competitions, so some things you got to do, they take precedence, so they got to go out of town. So otherwise the band would be playing, and that would be really exciting, but I'm glad that I get to play, so I'm excited to do it myself too. So.
Oh yeah, we're excited to see you. How long have you been playing?
Myself, oh my gosh, so like 16 or 17, and I'll be 48. I said that out loud next month. Yeah.
Happy early birthday.
Thank you very much.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, next month. So, yeah, so I mean, I guess started 16, 17, and you just slowly evolve into it, and it becomes what it is. And next thing you know, you just do it all the time.
That's
So,
awesome. That's awesome. So what got you started and to be like, I wanna do this?
when I was 16, I'm a huge Dinosaur Jr. fan. I graduated high school in 1995, so that, right, if I'm 48. So when I first heard them, I was like, oh, what is that? I need to get a guitar. I kind of want to do it. I'm not sure what that is, but that's what I want to do. So got a guitar from that, and then just kind of started learning to play by myself and just play.
So self-taught.
Mostly, yeah, for the most part. Like most people, I probably took 4, 5, 6 lessons when I first got going. Okay, I can take it from here. And then,
Yeah.
I don't need you anymore.
right, yeah. It's okay, you can change some chords, cool. All right, but yeah.
That's awesome.
That's it. And then as far as me and the guys in the band, we've all collectively played in different local bands going back to the late 90s, early 2000s around town in different collectives, and we've known each other for all that period of time. But we started playing together about 10 years ago, and we've been together for that long, just the three of us. And, it makes it easy. The older we get, we got obligations, and keeps it nice and simple. It's really easy. So it's kind of nice, and it's easy to stay together that way too.
Yeah.
Especially as a 3-piece.
Yeah, exactly. We talked early too. The less of us is better.
Yeah.
Did you ever try to go out and get additional members? Or?
No. The intent was always, and that's just maybe selfish on my part too. I'm just I don't really want anybody else.
Yes. Yeah. No. I really hear you. So I'm also a guitar player.
Okay. Yeah.
And I've been in a few bands, but never with another guitar player. Like, I don't want to learn your shit. I don't want to teach you my shit.
Yeah.
I don't want to play your shit. I want to play my shit.
Correct. Yeah. And I want to say it as nicely as possible. I don't want to deal with anybody else.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? This is it. I've played with other guitar players in like a cover band before, and
Absolutely.
that's fun.
Yeah, that's a lot
different.
of fun.
That's
Yeah.
easy.
But when you talk about originals, though.
Right. I don't have time for that.
Yeah.
This is the song. Here's how it goes. I'll cover it.
Yep, exactly.
But y'all don't want to lean back to back and do all those tricks with another guitar player.
No, we could do that with the bass player if I need to. Right? Plus, having to sing and cover all those duties—that's just extra energy, right?
Yeah.
So this is something that blows my mind, and every time I get somebody that's on the show and they're like, I sing and play, my brain can't. How?
It's not as hard as it seems when you've kind of done it for a long
when
period
you've done it a lot.
It becomes second nature. It's not that certain stuff is hard to sing and play.
Yeah.
Obviously, right? There's time signatures, things that are difficult to cover, but the basics, once you get it, it's like learning another language. It's just ingrained.
Especially writing and playing your own music.
Yeah,
you put on it what you want to put on it, and whether you're talking about the vocal melody or the guitars or whatever, it's yours, and you adapt it or change it however you want to.
Yeah, you're writing it, so it's
Yeah.
No. I'm gonna be honest with you. I am not gonna be sitting there playing and singing fucking "Stairway to Heaven," for example.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not the best guitar player in the world or this town, but you're going to write stuff that kind of fits you anyway. Right?
Exactly.
So that's kind of what I do. And
That makes sense. That makes sense. I see people all the time that play like all these intricate things and they sing, and I'm like, my brain couldn't. It's like patting your head and rubbing your stomach at the same time. Like I couldn't do it. I couldn't. So
yeah, that stuff's going to be hard.
yeah,
But changing chords and singing.
Yeah.
It's like
I got you. So did you come from a musical family, or did you just pick it up on your own?
I mean, my mom played the piano and stuff like that and sang, so nothing over the top.
Right.
You know, just kind of typical church stuff. But no, not really. Just have always liked music, like most people. You get drawn to music. Most people like music, and as you get older, it's something. I don't know if everybody has that moment that you like kind of what hit me when I first heard Dinosaur Jr. I was like, I feel like I've known that my whole life, but when you have that kind of thing, like I've never heard that before, but I feel like I've heard that before.
Yeah.
You know, and so that's what happened to me, and I was like, I gotta figure that out, whatever it is. And so, even through the rest of growing up and whatever, you just kind of still go towards that.
Right. That's awesome. So, how are you from Tallahassee originally?
No, I was born in Jacksonville.
Okay.
Okay.
And then we moved to Atlanta in 1990 when I was like 12. So kind of grew up between the two places. So, but most of where I went to, actually all of where I went to see concerts when in the early 90s, right? When all those alternative bands.
Oh, yeah.
So that's when I was really going to a lot of shows in high school and downtown Masquerade, a lot of shows there in the early 90s. That's kind of a touch of teeth.
Yeah.
Going to see a lot of shows.
What was your first concert? Do you remember?
I do not remember. I can't remember. Like my first concert ever was probably some stupid little cover thing that you know what I mean? Like, I don't remember that, but like in my first real rock show, I actually don't remember what that is. I just remember going to a lot of them in high school. Once you got a driver's license in the early 90s, we could drive down to the Masquerade and get tickets for a show back then. Might be $8, $10, $12, who knows? And go see shows, and we'd do that all the time. Whether it was Lemonheads, Seaweed, Afghan Wigs, whoever was coming through there. I mean, we went one time to see. We went to see Seaweed.
Okay.
Seaweed was the opening bill on the band. I think it was Bad Religion was opening, and you're young and you like who you like, and you don't like. We didn't even care about Bad Religion.
Yeah,
right.
We were there to see Seaweed, and after Seaweed was band Green Day came on.
Oh, yeah, heard of them.
This is before Dookie came out.
Right.
And so we're like, okay, we only stayed for like half their set because we were too cool for ourselves. Right? Tickets just to go see Seaweed. We saw Seaweed, and who's this band? Green Day. Okay, a few songs, and we left.
Yeah.
But there was all those shows coming through town, so we were kind of spoiled there.
There was definitely not a lot of that here.
No, I imagine there's not.
No.
I know our drummer Ian's from Tallahassee, so he can tell you what was coming through.
It's picking up a little bit, but I mean Metallica or
right.
Yeah, they're not really huge bands coming through, and when they are, they're playing at the Civic Center for fucking $100 a ticket now.
Yep. And when I came here to Florida State in '95, I remember that they had the club Down Under.
Yep.
Is that still?
Nope.
No. Right.
Well, wait.
The venue might still be there. I don't know.
Down Under.
It was a club Down Under. I think it was.
Yeah,
Right, in the
Tennessee
Union.
Street.
No, in the Union Hall at FSU.
Oh, I have no idea.
Oh, yeah. So they used to have a lot of good shows. They even put in the flyers of like bands that would play. So you could go see a few good shows in the 90s.
Mm.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't know how that's kind of transition to today.
Yeah, you said Down Under, and my mind immediately went to Down Below.
Yes.
That's where my mind
Yep.
went.
We used
You
to
and I
play a
both.
lot of shows at Down Below back in the early
Nice.
2000s.
Yep.
So you remember that? Yeah. I have fond memories of playing a lot of shows down under.
That was a good little
I never went. No, I never went. Yeah, I was just I stopped going to shows just before they opened.
No.
It was so it's been condemned for
It has.
and I was riding by it last night. We actually played Winterfest downtown last night, and that was a really good time.
Ooh.
And we were cruising by. I was coming back home when I went past there last night, And I think it still looks today the way it kind of did when it was operating. You know, even though it's been condemned for years, and I just
Right.
I hadn't been by there in forever, and I was like, oh, so many good memories of playing shows down there.
Yeah.
I'm
Those are the
surprised.
days.
I'm surprised that building is still there.
I don't think anybody understands that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought for sure that maybe they would have, done something with it to bring
Yeah.
it back.
Yeah.
But
It's been empty since it burned down
Yeah.
or whatever.
Bunch of great rock shows down there. Good times.
oh yeah, 100%. I think so the ring announcer lady for WWE, Lillian Garcia.
Okay.
She played there.
Oh,
Like she's a singer.
Oh, really?
And yeah,
Okay.
and so she played there, and I was like, why do I know that name? And I had to look her up, and I'm like, oh, because when I was little, seeing her in the ring, and I'm like, oh, it's weird. She's down
Yeah,
below,
right.
like
You would not think.
right.
Yeah.
So it's
yeah.
kind of like one of those, like, really, you couldn't down below?
Yeah, that was kind of local thing for the most part,
It
right?
was,
Somebody
yeah.
cruising through might play, but
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was like, maybe she just, was gonna stop in to see some local things and
Who
decided to
knows?
get on the mic, but apparently it was a booked thing. I was like, this was just really weird. It was very out of pocket, you
right?
know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so that's awesome.
I
So
think you'd be surprised how many maybe mid to big bands they start just to experiment on smaller venues with smaller people, just to see how their new songs go and things like that. Like I saw Mudvayne one time a few years back play in front of like 25 people,
damn.
a little bitty venue, and that was pretty cool when their song "Happy" came out, and so
that had to have been weird for like to see Mudvayne with only like 25 people in the crowd. Like that'd been a really cool experience.
yes, it's like, hey, we're here. You want to come see us?
Had
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. Huh?
Yeah. That's like getting a private concert by
Pretty-
yeah. That's cool. Have you ever had like have you ever been to one of those concerts where you had a real intimate feel?
Oh yeah, a lot of them. The one that stands out the craziest for me was at the club down under on FSU's campus, and I'd already gotten out of school by then, so it was maybe 2001, 2002, who knows, but I don't know if anybody remembers Juliana Hatfield. Remember the Juliana Hatfield 3?
Yes.
She played with Evan Dando, Lemonheads, whatever.
Yes,
right?
yes,
So
yes.
she was coming through town and she was playing a show. That I was like, all right, I kind of like her. I'll go see. And I tried to get some friends to come. Let's go see her. It'll be a good show. Come with me. Nobody would want to go. It was during the week.
Right.
So I went by myself to the club down under on FSU's campus, having some beers. And this two-piece band called the White Stripes came out
Yeah.
and opened up for her.
Damn.
And it was before anybody knew about it, right? They were
Right.
on tour. And I remember them walking out and I was like, all right, this is interesting. What's this going to be like? And they just completely kicked ass.
Yeah.
Like completely kicked ass.
Yeah.
And I just stood there up top, had drinking beers, watching this, just going, holy shit.
A two
I-
piece.
yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
even a huge White Stripes fan, but they're good,
Yeah.
obviously,
Right.
you know. And I was blown away. And I remember thinking, I was like, well, that's a damn shame. You'll never hear of these people. You know what I mean? I was like, nobody's ever going to hear this, but they were amazing. I was like, all right, best of luck to them. I think it was like within the year or a year later that they were huge. And I was like, hey,
Yeah.
I saw you before you were
yeah.
done.
And I would tell friends, like, remember that show you didn't want to go to?
it goes to show that
Yeah.
music.
You never know.
You never
know. So I tell that story a lot too. That's my kind of one, like,
yeah,
the Green Day 2 was kind of like, oh, hey, who's that?
that's pretty cool
But-
though. There was
Yeah.
it's like I tell everybody, like, if you're walking down the street and you see a band playing in a garage, stop and listen, because you never know.
Yeah.
I got to meet T-Pain before he was T-Pain.
Okay.
Yeah. A buddy of mine was hanging out with him, and I remember we got in the car and went somewhere, and he's in the fucking back seat.
Right.
I had no fucking idea who he was, and now it's like, damn.
He's done well for himself.
Yeah. Yes,
Yeah.
he has.
Yeah. And I think it's really cool about T-Pain. He goes online and he like gives advice to.
Yeah, he
You know,
seems like a
bands.
pretty straight up kind of guy.
Yeah.
He seems like a cool dude. for
Yeah,
sure.
he was like, whatever you do, don't sign that contract. He's like, you need to do it solo. He's like, and let me tell you all the reasons why. And he will
Right.
break it down and tell
Yeah.
you how you can get there. It's pretty cool. It's really cool. It shocked me when I was like, is he seriously? He's talking crap about this record label.
Right,
You know,
yeah,
it's
yeah. Fair
it's
game.
one of those things. I was like, okay, I had respect. So
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So, what is your creative process like within the band when it comes to writing your music?
I've got it really good with with us. They pretty much kind of let me do my thing, and because you write on your own. I just write on an acoustic
Right.
exclusively, almost always have. It's the thing that's right there. You pick
Yep.
it up.
It is right there.
Yeah. So like, it's just always there. The other gear, it's hooked up or whatever. But I'm not gonna go out there and most of the time and turn on my electrical. You sit and play, because if it sounds good on it, if you can get it sounding good and think it's gonna rock, it's totally gonna rock
Oh,
when
yeah.
you kick it up.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I just write songs on that.
The acoustic doesn't cover mistakes. That's for sure.
Yeah, if it sounds
Yeah.
good that way, it's gonna sound good. And most of the time, if I'm playing, it's usually just working on songs. I don't learn too many covers. I learn some stuff that I like.
Yeah.
Because it's just fun to sing those songs anyway. But so I just work on it. If I'm playing, I'm usually just working on several different songs that I've been writing. Who knows? It could be a couple dozen. I don't have the patience to work on a song for too long. Literally, if it doesn't come out quick, I will move to the next one. I'll play it a couple times. If I can't get the next part to pop out, all right, cool. Let's work on the next one. And I just keep do the same thing over and over until something hits. I can't think too hard about it. If I do, nothing good.
Happen.
Yeah, nothing good. It just doesn't happen. And if it does, it's forced and doesn't sound good. So you got to let it just kind of come. And so usually I've got who knows how many songs. Kind of just working on it, bits and pieces. Sometimes you just throw them together and you're like, oh, okay.
That's right.
Yeah, you never know.
So when you're doing your songwriting, where do you draw that inspiration from? Is it just like whatever pops in your head, or is it?
Yeah, exactly. No,
Yeah.
I don't. I try not to think about it.
Yeah.
At all, and just let whatever it is. I just play. It's like people. The best analogy is like going fishing. It's kind of the same thing. You're just sitting here noodling around, going fishing.
Yeah.
And you're just fishing for something, and you just play around and you wait. Sometimes you don't catch anything. Most time you don't catch anything.
Yeah.
So, but every now and then you do, right? And then you're like, okay, got it. And then so that
is amazing. I've never thought about it like that. It's totally like fishing. This is that you're just sitting there and just casting.
You're casting for something. You're hoping to catch a lick, a rhythm. Usually for me, it's a rhythm. I'm not writing too many licks. It's just the rhythms. I'm searching for rhythms, and then when I get one, it's like, okay, if I catch it, then I'll stop, and I'll just mumble and hum or say something until I catch the phrasing.
Yeah.
And if I get the phrasing, I'll start to write some words. I don't care what they mean so much, right? I've got some friends of mine that are like, man, Alan, does that make sense? I'm like, doesn't have to make sense yet, whatever,
Right.
And as long as it sounds cool and it's not stupid. Can't be stupid, right?
Right.
That's a thing.
One of my coolest kind of eureka moments, I suppose. I was at my mom's house. I had my guitar. My mom was on the couch falling asleep, and I had my guitar, and I was playing this really super melodic thing. Like you said, just fucking around, not really trying. And my mom kind of started opening her eyes, and she said, "Robert, what is that you're playing?" I was like, "I don't know." It developed right then, right there, and I ended up calling it lullaby. Yep.
There you go.
Yeah.
Some of the best stuff.
Yeah.
Right, just you happen into them. That's kind of all there is to it, really. Yeah.
So being a songwriter, do you ever just go driving down the road and see something and you just put crazy lyrics together about something you see?
No.
You don't?
No. I know everybody's got their stuff.
Yeah.
No. I kind of keep it to just when I've got a guitar in my hands.
I got you.
And the lyrics they come last.
Yeah.
I'm searching for a rhythm. When I've got a rhythm and then I can find a melody in my head, the lyrics, I'll just start to spit stuff out.
Yeah.
And if I don't like what's coming out, I'll just keep trying until I stumble on a phrase that I'll make, okay, I like that. It sounds good. And it's not dumb.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And it gives me a starting point. If you have a starting point, you can build it from there.
Yeah.
So that's just kind of what I piece it together that way.
I think one of the coolest things about doing Off the Record is that we get to meet so many different people that have a creative process that's so widely different.
I imagine everybody's, I mean, there's a lot of people probably do the same thing I do, but also there's people that just do it completely different. There's a bunch of people do it that way too. So there's
it's very
all
cool
ways,
just to see what works for different people. And I mean, most people are like, "Oh, I have this idea for a song. Let me see
Yeah.
if I can write a melody."
Or they
to
have a
it,"
melody in their
yeah,
head and try
Yeah,
to
like-
play it.
yeah,
There's some people that can do exactly can do that. I'm like, that's foreign to me, right? You know, I mean, I think I've heard like Bruce Springsteen. I think he writes his lyrics first or something, maybe.
yeah.
I think right, yeah. So he, like a poet, writes his lyrics. I'm like, okay. I
Not a poet.
I
Huh?
think
first off, I don't have anything to say, right? Like, so I'm like, now sit down and write
I think
something,
there's
that,
maybe only been
you know, and then put
one.
music to it. That's I don't do that.
I
Right.
think there's only maybe been one time where I had a melody or a rhythm in my head and played it. But I remember what I ended up playing was completely different
Yeah.
from what I originally really heard in my head at first.
I've noticed over the 25 years or whatever, a lot of times, just oddly enough, a lot of good rhythms pop. Literally, when I pick up the guitar and just start doing something,
Yep.
like that, like, oh, okay, like you don't even know what you're doing. You're like, I'm just gonna strum something. Who knows? And a lot of time, more often than not, you're like, oh, okay, and that turns into something. So it's just kind of weird how that happens. So you just pick it up and do something. You're like, oh,
And I can't tell you how many times I'll pick it up, I'll start playing. And it's like, oh, that sounds cool. Wait a minute, no, that's a riff to that song.
well, that happens to all of us all the time
Yeah.
too. There's no question about that. And you do have to get over that to a degree when you're, at least I did when I was younger, where I was like, okay, because then you'll start to think that everything that you write sounds like something else.
Yep.
Then you'll get stuck. You'll never do it. And you're like, you know what are the chances that it's going to end up sounding the same, whatever.
Right.
It's just not. You kind of got to get over it. By the end of it anyway, it's going to have morphed into something completely different.
Exactly.
So you'll have that going.
I think the rhythm is actually the most important part of the songs. It's just that's what people just seem to move to, when they
It's the groove. What's
right the group right.
all
They'll
right.
remember maybe the lyric or the melody, of course, but I think it's just that rhythm that gets them started. Like they can get into it. So I'm with you on starting with the rhythm myself.
That's awesome. We actually have a chat. So Crystal says, love you, Bubs. This is awesome. Awesome. So what advice would you give young bands that are wanting to come up and start collaborating, making music?
Oh, I don't know. Because I don't know if I ever figured anything out that really worked,
Yeah.
I mean, we did this stuff in our 20s, where I pretty much focused on original stuff for the most time. For 2 or 3 years with some friends, you get burned out of just, doing original stuff and almost like nobody caring. It kind of feels like, you play shows, you come out with records. We put a couple records out way back, and life gets in the way. You got to work, you got to have careers and things like that. So how much effort can you put into it? I mean, I guess if you're young enough and you got to just go do it, right? Is the thing. But it's hard for me to give that advice to somebody who didn't do that. So I think for me, I'm kind of always just chasing songs.
Okay.
I think when I'm addicted to it, and I've seen, we're all addicted to music. You like music and you have the people that you like so much. And so I watch interviews by the people I like a lot, and so I don't know if I study them, but I'm just interested in them. I've heard a couple of people that I love their stuff talk about how when you kind of write those first couple songs where they're good, and that's it, and that's what you want to do, and it's successful to you and you're good, and I don't care if anybody hears it, whatever, that's what I want. You're addicted to it and you're chasing it again and again, and
you're writing for yourself.
Yeah, that's what we do. I do
like you playing golf, you get that one birdie.
Right?
Right.
With I'm just chasing songs all the time. Yeah. So I don't really have any advice about how to be successful at it. If it's what you like to do, you got other life things you got to do, family and whatever, and carve out time to to write and find songs that you like to write, and hope that you get them.
Definitely.
Hell yeah, that is awesome. Well, I really appreciate you coming on Off the Record. Grover actually had a question before that I thought was a really good question about toys. Do you want to ask it again, Grover?
Sure. we're the same age. I'm gonna be 48 in about 2 weeks. So
Hey, all right. Then, yeah.
So been asking like, when you were a kid, of course we're doing the Toys for Tots, help out. But what was your favorite toy growing up?
We probably grew up in the golden age of toys. I would imagine, they make TV shows and movies about how good the toys and cartoons and everything were when we were growing up.
Yeah, I got my Megatron.
Yeah, Transformers was huge, right? I mean, we even remember GoBots, right? Which was the thing that was the kind of the cheap version of the Transformers and all that. Yeah, Transformers was everything. Star Wars was huge. I don't know, man, because we had everything at our disposal. Transformers was probably the one that pops out to me the most,
Yeah, I should broadcast from my toy room. I just got Transformers everywhere.
Oh,
yeah, I'm a big kid. I still collect.
Right on. Yeah, I can dig
it. You definitely need to do that. We need to make that a thing.
Yeah.
One day.
Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And I do want to say, the In Spaces does have we should in the spring have an album coming out, our first one finally. We're in the joys of mixing it right now, which are not very good. So
Waking the place over.
Oh man, I don't want to do this anymore. Trust me, I just want it to be done.
Yeah.
But hopefully in the spring we'll have something to go, to put out there.
Hell yeah.
The songs that I'll play when we play are the songs that we do.
Get you back on. Get some of those songs heard.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah. So we're excited about it. I mean, it's done. It's just got to get to the other stuff. Yeah. But thanks a lot. This was a lot of fun. I appreciate it.
Definitely.
Of course. And if you want to hear more from In Spaces, and obviously if you want to see Alan, you're going to have to come out to the Legacy at the Riverfront December 14th for the Toys for Tots benefits. But we also put the link to where you can go check them out in the description of this live. So make sure you go hit them up. Tell them you found them on Off the Record. And before we go, we have Shane in the chat. Shane, he says, can't wait till Saturday. Excited for all the music from all genres and the toys for the kids.
Yes.
Because it's all about the kids. Bring a toy. Please bring a toy for the kids. Kids need the toys. So also, just as an FYI, if you guys, for whatever lame reason you come up with that you can't come to the December 14th show for the Toys for Tots here at Legacy at the Riverfront, December 13th, Off the Record is going to be hosting Karaoke Kamikaze. Thanks to Andrew, our producer over here, who is going. We're going to be hosting the karaoke, so you have a chance to come out and have a little friendly competition and bring a toy for the kids. I don't know if you can see, but behind us there are boxes, so make sure you bring a toy and drop it off. And we look forward to seeing everybody. Hope you guys can all come out.